Hey everybody, welcome to another week at the Dough and Hotter Than Hell show. And by hotter than hell, we're not talking about these two jackasses here. We're talking about the heat outside.
Yes.
Very, very hot. Miserable hot this week.
Yeah.
Almost like it's circus week.
It almost is.
They
They say it's supposed to cool off.
Is it?
Yeah, October.
October?
Yes.
You know, I've never been a huge fan of the cold. I like the fall. That's probably my favorite time of the year,
That's
just because of
favorite.
the changing colors of the trees and stuff.
I like the weather. I like
the
the
weather.
cold. Yeah.
Kind of the hooded sweatshirt weather.
Yeah.
I've hated winter most of my adult life, but now I'm starting to hate the heat more. And 'cause I don't know, I can get warm a lot faster than I can cool off. It seems like so. I don't know.
Well, luckily I'm old and I'm going to die soon. I'm not going to.
You spend 18 hours a day in the bakery, so you're never outdoors anyway. So what do you care? So.
I sometimes have to go from the bakery to the car.
Going to jump into the news headlines today, Joe. Where armed carjackers push a woman to the ground and then they fail to steal her car.
But they forgot?
One man is in custody and two suspects remain at large following a report of a botched carjacking Thursday morning from Glencoe Golf Club. Out of Glencoe, Illinois, a trio of carjackers ran away after they were unable to start a car that they tried to steal from a woman at the golf club.
It was a stick shift?
Well, I guess we'll find out. A search by officers from several North Shore jurisdictions led to the arrest of a Lake County teen, but his two accomplices remained at large as of the afternoon, according to the GPD Safety Department.
Why do they call it at large?
What do you mean?
Well, they say at large, and I know what it means, but that doesn't really make sense if you work it out. I mean, if I'm learning a different language, they're at large. What do you mean they're big? I don't understand. That doesn't make sense.
Authorities said the three men approached the woman at the golf club as she got out of her car shortly after 8 a.m. One of them brandished a gun and demanded the car as the other two threw her to the ground, according to the release from Deputy Chief Richard Weiner.
Dick Weiner. That's made up.
Perfect.
Who would, come on, Mrs. Weiner, what should we name our beautiful son? Dick.
Hey, Deputy Dick.
Dick Weiner.
We could really go off on a railroad there. All three carjackers got into the car, but none of them were able to get the engine started to drive away, so they took off running into a nearby Cook County Forest Preserve District property near the Skokie Lagoons, according to Weiner. Officers from Northbrook, Northfield, and Winnetka police departments, as well as the Cook County Sheriff's Office, assisted in the search. An unmanned aerial vehicle was spotted in the area, and officers remained around the golf club and Forest Preserve property south of Dundee Road last Thursday. Xavion Thomas, age 18, of Beach Park, was arrested and held pending charges of the incident, but the other two men remain at large, according to Weiner. Police said,
You didn't even say that. You just wanted to say that.
No, it says to Weiner, right there.
Okay.
Police said both suspects appeared to be aged 18 to 20 and have slim builds with their hair worn in braids or ponytails, of course. Police do not believe there is an imminent threat to Glencoe community despite the two at-large carjacking suspects. But regardless, residents should remain cautious and call 911 if they spot any suspicious activity, according to Weiner. The reported carjacking attempt follows several vehicular hijackings
How
last
old
month.
am I, 12?
Like, guys never grow up.
I guess not.
In Highland Park, armed carjackers struck a gas station on the evening of June 5th on a residential street in Fort Sheridan on the afternoon of June 22nd. And in Deerfield, another carjacking was reported. No arrests have been announced in any of these carjackings. No further information about the latest incident was immediately available Thursday afternoon by Chief Deputy Weiner. I added that last one in.
Yeah.
So it doesn't say why they weren't able to drive it away. I don't know if it was like a smart
wondered.
car or if it was a stick shift or hard to say. It's probably, it was at a golf club, so it was probably a ritzy car of some kind, I'd imagine, but maybe they needed one of those, like where the key's in your pocket and you just hit the button or something.
Oh,
You
that
gotta
could
go.
be. Stupid kids. Was this picture up there?
No, there was no picture.
I'd love to shame the kid. so both our followers could see this picture.
That's right. Woman's attempted rooftop jump into a pool goes badly wrong.
Really? Who would have really thought that?
Gonna load up a video here for everybody for your viewing pleasure.
Oh no!
She's quite the ways up there.
Yeah, that's way too far. And she's got to. It's not just jumping down. She's got to jump over quite a bit. Oh! Well, at least she got in a pool.
That brings belly smacker to a whole new definition.
Yeah. Nobody really seemed to care that much. Oh, she's lucky she didn't die. What do they call that? Natural selection?
Yeah. Thinning of the herd, natural selection, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
The woman who posted the clip online said the woman is fine, but she is a little bit bruised. No broken bones or anything.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Gee, she hope she didn't suffer any brain damage.
Father-son arm wrestling match leads to an 8-hour standoff with the cops in Kentucky.
It always does.
An arm wrestling contest between a father and son led to a shooting and an 8-hour police standoff Monday in Kentucky, according to the Boone County Sheriff's Office. Curtis Zimmerman was intoxicated. Really?
What?
When he challenged his son to an arm wrestling competition. When the 55-year-old father lost to his juvenile son multiple times, congratulations, he became agitated and the two got into a physical fight. The father grabbed a gun and fired 2 shots into the ceiling when his son was going upstairs.
Apparently, Dad was losing the fight, too.
Yeah. Deputies were dispatched around 12:58 a.m. Monday to the home in Florence for reports of a subject with a weapon. 2 family members in the home went outside and were unarmed when deputies arrived, according to the sheriff's office. Authorities say Zimmerman refused commands from the deputies to exit the home, which ended up leading to an 8-hour standoff. Members of the Boone County Sheriff's Office SWAT team and the Florence Police Department SWAT team assisted with the standoff. Hostage negotiation team communicated with Zimmerman throughout the morning, and he surrendered without incident at around 8:25 a.m. Zimmerman will be evaluated at a local hospital before being transported to the Boone County Detention Center. He is charged with 1 count of wanton endangerment and will have a $5,000 cash bond.
He was just drunk. And his feelings were hurt.
Because he got his ass beat by his juvenile kid.
Yeah, I wonder how old Juvenile is. I mean...
He could be 17, but
yeah.
Who knows? Strong enough to beat his dad at arm wrestling multiple times, apparently.
I'll tell you what, that's you haven't reached that point yet, but that can be a very traumatic experience.
A woman shoots McDonald's employees for not allowing her to dine inside the restaurant.
Well, it's justifiable, isn't it?
If you've ever hit a fast food joint at certain times of the day, you know it wouldn't be a shock if heinous crimes were going down. Heinous.
Well, I think that came from Mr. Wiener.
I'm talking about those moments after closing the bar down and drunkenly stumbling into a Whataburger, McDonald's, or a Taco Bell. Homeless people tend to wander in, and there's a sketchy atmosphere when that dark 3 a.m. time hits. But you always go anyway because a greasy burger is the best way to end a night out.
Oh, always.
Well, ever since the coronavirus pandemic caused restaurants to take extra precautions by offering or delivery or drive-thru only, suddenly that dark 3 a.m. time of how crazy can it be at all times of the day starts to settle in. These poor McDonald's employees in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma have definitely seen it. According to Oklahoma City PD, 3 McDonald's employees got lucky that their injuries weren't life-threatening after Gloricia Woody shot them with her handgun. Why did she do this? She was upset that McDonald's employees would not allow her to eat inside in the dining area. Yes, they're saying despite the coronavirus restrictions that have been placed across all of the United States and the rest of the world, this woman resorted to gun violence because people were doing their part to protect public health. It's not like never mind. It's not like anyone else was in this McDonald's dining room anyways, and this crazy lady, had the opportunity to get her food. How did this start, you might ask yourself? Well, apparently after these poor employees told her she couldn't enter the dining area, there was an initial physical altercation that gave another employee a head injury. Then she went to her car to grab her handgun. She hit 2 employees with shrapnel, and the 3rd employee was hit in the arm. She ran off, only for Oklahoma City police to find her a few blocks away. Luckily, all employees are going to be okay. Aside from that, can COVID-19 cause any more craziness? Well, just when you think you've seen it all, you hear about one of these stories.
What was her name?
It was strange.
The last name?
Woody. Gloricia Woody. We got Wiener and Woody.
We got a Wiener and a Woody. a Dick Wiener.
Can't wait to see if the next story breaks.
I must be tired. Punchy or something. That's just funny stuff.
Man gets arrested again after having slashed over 1,000 tires of women in an attempt to get to know them better.
I remember when I was a young child, and my dad sat me on his knee and said, "Son, if you ever want to meet the right woman, you want to meet that woman of your dreams, this is the way you do it."
I'm likely going to butcher a lot of names here because this is out of like Japan or Hong Kong or something crazy.
You don't want to try?
On June 11th, the 43-year-old woman exited a supermarket in Hagashishiri, Akita Prefecture, and drove her way in her car. However,
He can't even pronounce the car probably.
However, she didn't get far before noticing that her driver's side rear tire had gone completely flat. While examining the flat tire, another car drove up. The driver, 32-year-old Yoshito Harada, offered to replace her damaged tire. While it was a kind gesture from an apparent total stranger, the woman was struck with a sudden case of deja vu. This is because the exact same thing had happened to her in June of the previous year. Unsettled by the coincidence, she decided to report the encounter to the police, who investigated the matter and found through surveillance camera footage that Harada had slashed her tire in the parking lot of the supermarket. He then followed her car until it pulled over so that he could be the first one on scene to offer help. According to police, Harada admitted to the crime, saying he did it in order to meet the woman. Now, here's where the plot starts to thicken, Joe. As the news of this strange attempt at courtship came out, some were reminded of an eerily similar case back in 2013. The suspect then was also a man named Yoshido Harada, who was 25 at that time and hailed from the same city as this guy. Assuming this isn't a remarkable coincidence, this man was picked up 7 years earlier for the exact same misdeed. In fact, during that arrest, Harada's lawyer remarked that he had probably done it approximately 1,000 times.
Wow.
Harada avoided prison by compensating a few victims who came forward 30,000 yen, which is equivalent to about 279 United States dollars.
Wait, what is it? 30,000 at 279?
Yeah.
I don't know why that sounds so weird.
He also agreed to certain monitoring measures, such as a GPS tracker that his parents could use to make sure he was staying out of trouble. That, however, did not seem to work, and he was picked up again in 2016 after a victim told an acquaintance, who also had her tire fixed by a 28-year-old man in the same way back in 2015. This was the exact same situation that has led to his 2013 arrest. Legality aside, after about a decade of criminal mischief and countless money spent on spare tires, sealant, and restitution, Harada wasn't able to hit it off with a single woman.
Does it have his picture?
I don't think it did. I think it was kind of...
What was his last name? Harida?
Harada.
Harada? You know that means like penis in Japanese,
sure
right?
You should Google that. Picture of a newborn baby holding his mom's failed coil goes viral.
What's a coil?
A picture of a newborn baby holding his mom's patently failed coil has gone viral. The 34-year-old mom, who already has 2 other children, had the IUD, it's a birth control device, inserted 2 years ago. However, the coil did not do its job and she became pregnant, giving birth at a Haiphong International Hospital in Haiphong, Vietnam. I'm probably saying that wrong too, sorry. During labor, the IUD came out along with the baby, who subsequently gripped it in his hand. That's a big screw you. Here I come. Take that, Democrats.
You just had to, didn't you? You just had to.
Transviet Phong, an obstetrician at the hospital, noticed the striking development and took the picture, which was shared last week on the hospital's social media channels, where it received thousands of likes, comments, and shares.
And then the baby put it in his mouth and choked.
Fong said, after delivery, I thought him holding the device was interesting, so I took a picture. I never thought it would receive so much attention. Yes, you did.
Yeah, you did. Why does camera on? Why do you have his camera when he was...
You put it right next to his sad, unhappy face.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not happy he's here. I don't know.
You know, people talk about how beautiful babies are when they're born. I don't know if you've seen a baby when it's born, but...
I wasn't completely prepared for that. I'm just saying all the sights and sounds that came with that. And...
You mean your wife trying to kick your ass?
Yeah. Head spinning around 360 degrees.
I hate you.
Paragliding instructor takes to the skies, Joe, on a couch. Check out this genius. This was in Turkey.
Like, what if it didn't take off?
And this would be a much shorter video.
It'd be funny for a different way. Putting on his Turkish slippers.
Doesn't even look like he's buckled in or anything. He's just...
Gonna read a book or something? What keeps it going?
I don't know.
He has a TV. That is really cool. I'd never do it. Wonder what his reception's like up there.
Doesn't appear to be. I think it's just for show. Doesn't look like a TV's actually on. It's got him some snacks.
That's funny. I'd kind of like to see the landing.
I don't know if there's a landing or not.
How long can those stay up there? I don't know much about this stuff.
Pizzeria
Pistolero.
Yeah.
Pistolero.
Pizzeria
Pistolero.
gets popped by the police.
Wow.
Took 2 of us to get that one
There's
out.
a lot of peas.
An Arkansas man shot out the front window of a Little Rock pizzeria after arguing with an employee about a purported paucity of toppings on a pie he ordered. What the hell? Michael Brown, age 44, is arrested on multiple felony charges following a violent confrontation Monday afternoon at the Pie 5 restaurant. According to a Little Rock Police Department report, after Brown and a female acquaintance placed an order, Brown became upset about the portion size of the order. Specifically, Brown thought he was shorted on his pizza's toppings. Further description reads, which is not contained in court records. When Brown was asked to speak with the manager, worker Ebony Smith called her supervisor and handed the phone to Brown, who's seen above. Brown subsequently threw a phone at Ms. Smith, striking her on the side of the face.
Oh.
After another Pie 5 employee asked Brown to leave, he began arguing and went outside. Brown retreated to his work van and walked back to the business holding a gun. Brown was unable to enter the pizzeria since a worker had already locked the front door.
Oh, good.
Unable to gain entry, Brown shot out the glass front door. Brown then drove away from the restaurant in a white van carrying the name of his drain cleaning business and the firm's 800 number attached to it. Makes it easy enough. During a police interview, Brown repeatedly admitted that he was angered by the portion size of the food he was given at Pie 5, and he got more upset and threw the phone. He then stated he went to his work van and grabbed the gun and shot out the pizzeria's window. He was arrested and charged with 6 felony terrorist act counts and a misdemeanor battery charge.
Wow. Well, I think he has some anger issues.
You think?
I've been upset with a pizza before. I don't remember having to take it to that extreme.
Teen actor and TikTok star says she had a mask accidentally pierced into her ear by an icing employee. You know what TikTok is? Heard of it?
I've heard of it. It looks stupid.
It is stupid. I'm TikTok
Okay.
famous now, though. I think you should know that.
Are you really?
I've got almost 60,000 followers on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to load. Do you load it or is it just
It's
on
an app.
there?
It's an app. Then
Oh.
you can search by name or whatever if you want. So,
So do I have to load that on then?
yeah,
I'm not gonna do it.
I don't blame you.
I'm gonna trust you though that you have 60,000 followers.
I'll show you later.
Yeah, see if they'll get follow Doan50. What did you do to get that many followers?
Nothing really different than what we do here.
Oh,
You're bringing me down, man.
I guess so because we have 2 followers. He has 60,000. Should I scoot out of the picture?
Anyway, this TikTok individual, I'm just going to load the video here for everybody to see if it'll load anyway. She decided to get her ear pierced during the coronavirus pandemic and didn't go too well for her, okay?
I just got my 3rd earring done.
What?
And the lady pierced my ear on my back. I can't get it off. And it's so bad. I got glares. Look at it. The white one. It's stuck on my ear. And they look so ugly. I just want to take them out. Oh, look at it. It's just
Is this real?
Yeah.
My
Bet you a
kid-
fresh pizza pie she's got a Bernie 2020 bumper sticker on the back of the car.
If that was my kid, I'd smack her. Just shut up. I'll cut the damn mask off. You'll be okay.
All right, you ready for Florida Badness?
I love Florida.
All right, here we go. This week in Florida, Florida man has surgery to remove a screwdriver from his rectum.
How did that get there?
Out of Miami, 46-year-old man was admitted to a Florida hospital for surgery to remove a full screwdriver from his rectum. According to the report, the man, who suffers from schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, entered the,
Suffers from more than that.
entered the operation room in septic shock, complaining of a week-long abdominal and pelvic pain. Doctors performed a CT scan of the man's abdomen and found what appeared to be a screwdriver. The tool appeared to have pierced his large intestine.
Ooh.
Doctors originally attempted to remove the screwdriver without surgery, but they were unsuccessful due to large amounts of blood and hard feces. The doctors then turned to surgery to remove the foreign object. After opening the man up, they noticed the screwdriver had pierced through the large intestine and dug itself into his buttock muscle. Surgeons drained the right buttock abscess and performed a colostomy, to redirect the waste into a bag outside of his body. The screwdriver was successfully removed, and the patient was found to be doing well during his 2-week follow-up. The surgery details were posted in the annals of medicine and surgery. Annals.
No.
To stress the importance for surgeons to maintain high suspicion when encountering psychiatric patients with lower stomach and or rectal pain.
Nice. Nice way to start Florida.
I thought so. This is a guy mowing his lawn in Florida. Don't say where in Florida that's from. I'm just going to guess Pasco County.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
I haven't had any good Pasco stories in a while. I'm not sure what's up with that. So, out of Florida, a 400-pound woman survives sexual assault by a herd of manatees.
What?
That's right. 400-pound woman survives sexual assault by a herd of manatees. The tourist on vacation went for a swim near 2 p.m. in the afternoon when she was suddenly caught up by a herd of male manatees that possibly mistook the poor woman for a female manatee.
Ew.
I was just playing around in the water when suddenly I noticed a herd of manatees next to me. At first I was curious, but eventually I became scared when they started getting agitated, she recalls, visibly traumatized by the latest events. It all happened in a flash. All I remember is the horrifying sight of the manatees trying to grab me and force me into submission. Luckily, a man on a jet ski caught their attention and scared them away moments before the Coast Guard rescued me. The sexual assault of the herd of manatees on a human being could be explained by the menstrual cycle of the vacationer, believes Jane Keller, professor of biology at the University of South Florida. When a female manatee goes into the estrus, she is soon detected and pursued by the numerous male manatees throughout the cycle. During that time, the female can mate with a dozen or more males in what is known as the estrus or mating herd.
We have a different name for it.
Yeah. We'll just let you fill in the blanks there. It's possible that the animals mistook the bloody vaginal discharge of the victim's period as the female manatee in estrus.
Why was she in the water?
I would definitely suggest that a woman not go swimming during their menstrual cycle in areas where manatee mating occurs.
Yes, we strongly suggest that. What do you just think if you were standing in the water next to her and you see blood floating off?
You know, that happened to me in my high school swimming class.
Oh no, that poor girl.
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
Oh.
Of course, you can imagine at that age how well that
Oh
went over
yeah,
too, so.
and she was probably too embarrassed to even tell the swim coach or the swim gym teacher or whatever. Oh, that's so sad.
According to a deputy's report, man exposes himself at a gift shop after being asked to put on a face mask. Out of Isla Morta, Florida, a 37-year-old Miami man was arrested Thursday morning after he exposed himself at a gift shop in Isla Morta after being asked to put on a face mask. According to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office spokesperson Adam Leinhart, Paul Ellie Daniel Duval, what the hell? We'll just call him Paulie.
Okay.
Refused to put on a face mask when he asked to do so by an employee at the Theater of Sea gift shop, and he began speaking vulgarly, particularly to the women in the room, including one minor, about his genitals and their bodies and pornography. Leinhart said Duval then pulled down his shorts and exposed himself to everyone who was inside the gift shop, while continuing to use vulgar language towards them. Witnesses told responding deputies that other children were also present at the time, but they left before they could be interviewed by authorities. Leinhart said witnesses pointed out Duval to authorities in the parking lot as he was attempting to leave.
He still had his pants down. That's him.
The deputy stopped Duval a short distance away on US 1 and took him into custody. Authorities said Duval said he exposed himself after employees refused to let him use the bathroom inside the gift shop. He also admitted that there were several children present at the time. Duvall faces charges of indecent exposure, disorderly conduct, and driving with a suspended license.
Oh, of course he was. Put on a mask. Look at my pee-pee.
Well, you ready for this week in good news?
Yes.
All right. Here we go.
I was just telling Lee that I'm afraid to go live with him because I don't know when it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I know it's going to happen, but...
So we're supposed to be moving facilities. We just haven't gotten around to it,
Right.
to where we can leave all of our equipment up all the time. And because all this time we've been doing the show, it's tear it down, set it up, tear it down, set it up. So we got a bigger space now, and we'll be able to,
It only takes a minute, but we're freaking lazy.
Yeah.
We'd rather just
but
have it
it'll be nice
done.
because we'll be able to leave the green screen up to where, like, this week's show will be on a green screen, obviously. Well, and then, maybe next week if we want to go live, it'll be on a different wall. So we won't have to tear things down. We'll just be hopefully just kind of ready to go. So I forget where we're going with this. Oh, but he's afraid for it to, he thinks I'm going to snap or something. I don't know why.
He's going to snap.
Fine.
It's good. Yeah.
I'm fine.
That's why I
I'm
always
fine.
keep my sign ready for when it happens.
Where's the tassels?
They're coming.
All right.
Haven't had a chance.
For all you dog lovers out there, we got a dachshund puppy that looks like a mini Dalmatian or a cow
Oh
due
my
to
gosh.
its fur. So we're going to put some pictures up there for everybody.
It's really cute.
Dachshund puppy has been winning people over
Look
online.
at those ears.
Looks like a basset hound ear almost, doesn't it?
It does.
A dachshund puppy has been winning people over online thanks to his beautifully unique appearance, sporting a black and white patterned coat that makes him look like a miniature Dalmatian or maybe even a little cow. Moo the dog, who lives in Miami, Florida, with owner Victoria Huffman, may only be 7 months old, but he's already got more than 13,000 Instagram followers, Joe.
Wow.
His piebald fur, which is what happens when an animal's coat has unpigmented white spots on a pigmented background, covers most of his body. It means that apart from his black and tan face, the pooch looks more like a Dalmatian than a tiny dachshund. Victoria, age 24, said a lot of people assume Moo is wearing some sort of clothing, but promises it's all natural. She said of her pet, he's a unique piebald because he has heavy ticking black spots on his white coat, and he also has a pure and black tan head, so it looks like his body doesn't match his head. He is a cute little bird, isn't he?
He looks like a good
Very
puppy.
photogenic.
Yeah.
Much more so than either one of us. I don't know.
Oh, well, because he starts out being cute and we don't.
All right, we got one more kind of a feel-good thing. You ever watch the Golden Girls back in the day, Joe, back in the 80s?
I love the Golden Girls.
I've got fond memories of that show because I remember I used to spend a lot of weekends with my mom's parents, my grandparents. And
I feel like I know them, everything you've told me
I know,
about them.
great people. But my grandma, and my mom watched the show too, but I associate it with my grandma, I guess. 'Cause I remember her sitting down and watching the show, and so anytime I watch the Golden Girls, I hear the Golden Girls song, I start thinking about my grandma.
Thank you for being a friend.
There's only one of them left now. It's kind of sad, but
Yeah.
you can now buy a Golden Girls Tiki mug set, Joe. You're not alone. It's been 28 years since the final episode. Gosh, 28 years since the final episode of the hugely popular TV series aired. It ran for 7 seasons on NBC, but it still remains a cult classic to this day. Fans can't seem to get enough memorabilia featuring the Fab Four. Over the years, there's been everything from Golden Girls cereal to Golden Girls sunshades. The latest offering is just the thing to add plenty of quiche to your summer soiree, or simply make it time alone in your garden during social distancing a little more bearable. The Geeky Tiki's Golden Girl ceramic mugs from Beeline Creative are modeled on the show's unforgettable characters, Miami retirees Dorothy, Blanche, Rose, and Sophia. Set of 4 mugs only cost $45.99, Joe, and it's available for pre-order on Amazon. Mugs will be released on July 9th. If you can bear to part with these, they'd make a great gift. What a better way to say thank you for being a friend.
Huh. Well,
Love the show. The mugs are kind of ugly.
as much as I love the show, I don't think I'd buy the mugs.
They're pretty salty for that.
But
stuff.
I do remember my kids were raised on that too, so they'd all get excited when they heard that song and run out into the living room.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of shows because of the kids.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. When the kids were, April and Nicole were probably 8 and 6, and before we went to bed, the 3 of us would sleep in the living room because we didn't have any furniture. It's a different story, but we'd always watch All in the Family before we went to bed, and I never thought much of All in the Family. I watched it growing up, and I liked the show, and I never realized how many controversial things went on in that show until April would say, "Wait, what does that mean?" oh. I can't tell you. You'll have to ask me later. But we love that song, the starting song for that song.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy to me. I mean, we're talking close to 30 years, 28 years since the finale. And, here we are almost 30 years later. I hear people talk about the show. I every once in a while, you'll still even see it on syndication on certain TV channels. Yeah. That's pretty crazy to think that a show's that old and can still be seen in syndication.
I always, like All in the Family, stuff like that. And you think about songs even. My son really likes the Beatles, but he loves the Mills Brothers too. And the Mills Brothers were around in the 20s and 30s. But to think that you still can hear their voices and see their pictures, and that's pretty neat stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And you see a lot of memes now about, basically the doom and gloom of the end of days of everything that's going on, and Betty White. Anybody checking on Betty White today?
Yeah,
she's such a national treasure.
She is. So, I loved her. I loved her on Mary Tyler Moore. Do you remember watching her in that? She's
even been in some movies over the years where she's so different from what she portrayed on Golden Girls. I can't think of the names of any of them, but she's kind of just played like a crotchety old mom or a grandma, and kind of get really edgy and curses sometimes.
On Mary Tyler Moore, was it Sue Ann Gibbons she played, and she her character was a lot like Blanche on Golden Girls. She was kind of the loose one, always kind of man hungry and stuff. So it was odd seeing. She auditioned for Blanche.
Did she?
Yeah, when they auditioned for the show.
It's hard to believe any of those characters playing anybody besides what they ended up with.
Yeah.
I've read a lot of that over the years of, really popular TV shows or movies, whatever the case may be, where, they auditioned for this one part and they ended up getting another one. And probably the most iconic TV show in recent memory that I can think of that's still in syndication would probably be Friends, right? Mm-hmm. All of them went on to have successful careers after Friends, even in different ways, whether it's producing or movies. And they didn't just disappear like a lot of people do, is what I'm trying to say.
That Kudrow did.
Yeah, she kind of did. But they've all. I've seen some behind the things where they've auditioned for different parts within that show. Mm-hmm. And you sit here, shows like that or Golden Girls. If you watch them every week, you actually become invested in those characters, almost like you know who they are personally. You know what I mean? And you sit here and think, well, I can't imagine, say, Matt LeBlanc portraying David Schwimmer's character. No way. That he's perfect for that part.
Right.
You've seen those things in movies where, who was it on? It's like Star Wars, right? Harrison Ford wasn't the initial choice for the Han Solo character. It was somebody else. I can't remember who it was, and they actually turned it down. The part of Han Solo.
Life is a box of chocolates.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump. John Travolta was offered that part.
Yeah, I remember that.
Turned it down. I think he'd have been good. But Tom Hanks is, God, that guy's good at everything, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got another one coming out, and Christopher Walken was supposed to be Han Solo. Can you imagine that? Oh my goodness! Talk about two totally different actors.
Yeah, he'd have made it kind of spooky. Christopher Walken, wasn't he more cowbell?
Yeah, more cowbell. And I love Christopher Walken, man. He is so dry and hilarious at the same time.
Yeah.
But him in a Star Wars movie, I can't see that even a little bit. So. But you can Google that, actors that were supposed to play whatever, and it's really interesting to see because like in Star Wars that made Harrison Ford's career.
Right.
He was even ashamed of that part for a long time because he wanted to be a serious actor and he thought Star Wars was goofy and blah blah blah. And here we are, billions and billions and billions of dollars later, and
they're still doing those.
And so
his character was killed off in the last Star Wars, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was killed off. They started a new trilogy several years ago, and he was killed off in the first movie of that trilogy. He did have a cameo in the last one that was released last year.
Okay.
Which you wouldn't understand any of that.
No, I'm completely lost in all that stuff. But I'm more of a Indiana Jones fan.
And see, he was even. I don't know that I'm going to say he was ashamed, but of course he's older now. Harrison Ford is. And I remember years and years ago, he said, somebody asked him, "Well, you going to make any more Indiana Jones?" No, that I don't even know where that hat is anymore. It's in the back of an old closet. Now you're reading where they're going to do another one, or they're currently filming another one.
Yeah.
So. He got hurt during the last one he did too, didn't he?
He did a lot of his own stunts again, and
he
was late 60s when he did that. So now he's in his 70s, and I don't know if he's going to try to do his own stunts or not. But it's, oh boy, sometimes where the good guy wins, and that's just, I'll never get sick of that.
Yeah, it'd be kind of interesting. I just watched the other day. I watched Top Gun just a couple days ago. I love that movie. Top Gun.
Well, Top Gun.
And of course, the new sequel. Here we are, close to 25, 30 years later. We're finally getting a sequel, and maybe even longer than that. When was that? 85, 86, 87 probably. Yeah. But anyway, here we are those years later, and Tom Cruise is going to reprise that role. But he's probably the most famous actor in Hollywood, as opposed to anybody, as opposed to being famous for doing his own stunts. Tom's getting older too now. I mean, he's
getting close to 60.
Yeah, he's probably pushing 60.
He looks young.
Well, he's the Antichrist. I'm convinced of that. But
that could be. And then who is the other guy in Top Gun?
Val Kilmer.
And then
Anthony Edwards was Goose.
Now his love interest in that,
Kelly
McGillis. Okay.
And she actually looked kind of rough last time I saw her.
They didn't
invite her back.
They didn't invite her.
There's it doesn't look like anybody other than Val Kilmer is going to be back for Top Gun. They're keeping everything real hush hush. After watching that movie, I tried to Google to see who would be in it, and they're really hush hush about who the cast even is. They're trying to keep everything as a surprise. See if you can pull up an image of Kelly McGillis.
She just doesn't.
Yeah, I mean,
she didn't age well.
She did not age well, and I can see why they didn't invite her back.
Yeah, but I'm sure they could have cleaned her up and got her on some sort of regimen before the movie. But Tom Cruise really doesn't look too much older.
He's 60 and he looks like he's 40 probably. So
if that.
So they needed a younger female lead, which I guess I get.
Val Kilmer, he doesn't look too bad. Well, I don't know why he'd be in the movie, because he would be well past retirement.
Well, so would Tom Cruise, really. Well, we're talking military. If you look at the teaser, it's kind of hard to say, because it looks like he's I think that in the teaser he's only a captain or something like that after 30 years.
Which they would have kicked him out, because there's rules about that. Anybody in the service will pick all that stuff apart, but it's a movie. It's for fun.
Yeah. But anyway, Val Kilmer I'm not sure about, because last time he can't even talk because he had throat cancer or something, so I don't know if he's just going to have a visual cameo, or he can't possibly have an acting part, I wouldn't think. So
I don't know.
I don't know. So.
I saw Top Cruise. I wasn't a huge, or Top Gun. I wasn't a huge fan.
Yeah. Well, that's all we got for the good news. We had 2 stories and completely went off on a tangent on other things, like we usually do. But appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care.
See you later.